Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective. Our full moon ascension energies continue for those of you who are mindfully living and loving, or spiritually living and loving, or one and in the same. Because whether you call it the mind, body, heart, soul, spirit, or mind, body, heart, self, the whole self of you. So when you have all your child parts, they're uncharged, you're a person who has secure attachment. And so whole self, though, it means that you own, observe, witness, narrate your own sense of self, because you own, observe, witness, and narrate your core self, narrative, relation, and solo self. So you own your embodied, the body, and that's what somatic therapy is good for body mind. Focus is, in fact, to integrate it. When you find a good therapist, they have sensory motor, somatic, and then child parts work, and EMDR for bilateral integration. I'm attachment trauma informed. I'm bringing to food for thought, channeled guidance for a different reason. We do self-help, personal development. So this is where mentorship, content creatorship, and stories is for the individual who is mastering, in fact, at this moment in time, being yourself. So that's the other message that came through, is that you understand that you have come here to master being yourself. Whether you are purely sciences, mindfulness gets you there, because you continue to grow mental, emotional, physical intelligence. And so the 5D Collective is involving those who choose social engagement, ventral vagal state, not the ones who are 3D, 4D, frequency, state of consciousness, and they consistently feel more comfortable and choose the survival state. And none of us need to go telling Cusco, because I call them Cuscos, what they need to do, because we don't. So spirit, self, one and in the same, because the self, a whole self, has the pure consciousness state when you are embodying no trauma charges. And every one of us has basic child charged parts. They get uncharged as you grow up if you are welcoming the depth of the emotional plane that is yours when shit comes up. And it's not going to be shit. That's why we deal with the unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds, unexpecteds with the open heart of your own heart, inner growth mindset, and go with the flow. So the main modules of the inner growth mindset are based on that. And then with this additional in-depth journey, I get to bring in even more. So the first message that I want to read to you: the ghosts of your past, they no longer haunt you, but instead they have been transmuted to love and wisdom of how to be an open, loving, vulnerable heart with the right people, which are the healthy, self-worth others of our 5D Collective, who live life mindfully with self-awareness, accountability, and regulation skills that bring forth love, compassion, and equanimity. They know ill will. They bring forth also true love and genuine relationships for life. So these are the individuals who will let you know, let me go find you, let me count the ways that I love thee in a secure, attachment, functional adult way. Be you, be mindful, and flawed with integrity. Thank you so much. And that's our Pachas. Life's too short to spend it with insecurely attached people who choose to live relationships with push-pull, shame dynamics, and unhealthy, dysregulated life and narratives. Now, doesn't mean we don't have unhealthy others in life. No, it means we don't live a home, romantically speaking, with a person who doesn't know how to love, because you won't know love if you don't own your whole self. You're going to know shame, blame, fault, revenge. You're going to know those mannerisms that are of Cusco. You're going to know how to not take ownership, like my facade friend, for example, who I love to death, but didn't take ownership of a lot of things and distorted, very important, for me at least, not for him, for my amygdala, for my heart, important data shared with a open, genuine heart, with tears and all the emotions in the world. And then what I get to hear, it's as if I never existed. And that's how it feels when a facade human being brings back to something that you will have shared from the depths of you. But it's not, I'm a teenager, I want to say he's awful because he broke my heart and now he's an awful human being. No, he's not an awful human being. He's a person who decided how to continue doing what he's doing, which is actually not the anomaly. No, the anomaly, apparently, no, there's not an anomaly. The nice thing of being a 5D Collective and being here is that we are not any longer an anomaly, and there's good therapists that are teaching those who want to be here to get here. So, a man's character Hesketh Pearson, I'm going to quote, never changes radically from youth to old age. What happens is that circumstances bring out characteristics which have not been obvious to the superficial observer. Again, the ghosts of your past no longer haunt you. People who get healed and they get out of their childhood trauma, they don't bring their unkindness and their dysregulation. They bring healthy. So we are a bunch of people who do come here, again, to HP and elsewhere to do that 5D mystic spiritual self-help for some. Others, it's mindful self-help, but we're loving and living in a way that involves consistent, contingent communication. Here's our other message. The wisdom of the heart is not accessed by all minds, only by pure, open, loving minds interpreting it, which is why your past ghosts no longer haunt you. You're able to take self-awareness, accountability, regulation seriously, and to be in a room with people who have heart, body, and mind as their safe haven, secure base. That's why. So they want to build heart-to-heart, genuine relationships. They do not want to engage in mannerisms from their adaptive child or maladaptive patterns. They don't. They are their foot forward on breaking their transgenerational, cultural, childhood, whatever it is. They use the words, or if you're using words, okay, so you know you're your medicine, not me, not anybody else. You, because that left mode is yours. You own the story, you own the ego, and then you own the capacity to say, I want to be myself for real. I'm going to unpause this shit and I'm going to become. And you then become the rightful, meaning the correct balance of what a hunter will always know how to do, which is all-inclusive, which is treating the animals with respect when you're killing the animal. It's not about being a vegan, not a vegan, none of that. The hunter and the medicine is you. You choose equanimity. You choose to have integrity. You choose to bring what is the optimized version of a human being to the forefront. So when I see people who instead they're projecting shame, blame, fault, revenge, this is why lack of emotional intelligence, mental, physical, it's unimpressive. It's undesirable. It's not scary. It's sad because they were scared and they were shamed and they were made to feel hopeless and they were made in their bodies as 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4 to feel all that they continue with the dark sides of neuroplasticity to bring forth, and using ancient scripture, which by the way they dishonor in my personal subjective opinion, which is why I said, hey God, there ain't no Lucifer. And I reiterate, hey God, there ain't no Lucifer, but I do know about Determined, and I do know about Patrick McNamara, and I do know about Good Therapists, and I do know there's a solution. So when people want to stay in their survival mode and follow fancy men and women in suit who are horrible examples of what to become, but they want to be that, we leave the 7 and 14 charming on Pinocchio's island. And again, unhealthy dysregulation is clear because the minute you think that you can be in a prison in a body that is enlightening by the minute because of being equanimous, because of being mindfully aware, accountable, regulating, I know that, well, my state is really beautiful. Restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating. It's your choice, like the little choo-choo train that could. And here's where I'm going to read Pat Ogden and then leave you. Maybe we will have another message, maybe we won't, but as Pat Ogden shares with us, when we learn to read the body and track its language, that's the somatic narrative. It's the narrative of the body. The verbal story is secondary to the somatic narrative because the body really speaks and can't be deceived by minds. When you're self-aware, accountable, and regulating, you choose to not project thoughts or emotions upon others, but to master your thoughts, emotions, not control them, master them. But that's because you have a window welcome to your emotional plane. That Zen master doesn't. He calls it laundry. So he's created a narrative, a word, and distanced himself from the capacity to be in the now with whatever happens, because his depth is not something he is actually wanting to. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't enjoy sadness. It's not that you enjoy it, but you don't discriminate it either. So when you have no judgment of emotion, neutrality, and duality, you're going to be able to really, for real, not pretend, put into practice, feeling the depth of the emotional plane, and you create resiliency in your prefrontal. So it's a beautiful practice. I have fun with it. Again, other people, like the Zen master, don't. When we begin to cultivate mindfulness, we learn how to stay with the moment-to-moment kaleidoscope of sensations, images, thoughts, and emotions. Ron Siegel, Psych D. Thank you, Ron.